As a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
Welcome, everyone, to our National Veterans Radio Show. Today we have Shaun from the Veterans Breakfast Club. And we received several messages during the week, people interested in knowing what the group was about. What do they do? How do they participate? So people are interested in knowing what the Veterans Breakfast Club is about. So with that, I would like to welcome Shaun to the show. Welcome, Shaun. And like I was saying during my introduction, we have several messages during the week that they knew that we were going to have you on the show. So we have people asking questions and wanting to participate. So you got people's attention, Shaun.
That's wonderful. That's exactly what we want. It's a pleasure to be here, Joseph. Thank you for having me.
Of course, our pleasure. And so we'll dive in. What is the Breakfast Club? Tell us what that is.
Sure. As you can see on your screen, I'm the director of programming with the VBC. I've been with them since June of last year, a little after the shutdown had happened. Knew a lot about VBC prior to that and was very inspired by the in-person breakfast that they were holding, and was very fortunate to gain employment with VBC. Along with myself, there's the executive director, Todd DiPastino. He started the Veterans Breakfast Club back in 2008 and was holding in-person breakfasts for the last, for those 12 years until the pandemic. The pandemic forced us to take a step back from those, obviously, and we decided, well, why are we keeping this in just Western PA? VBC is based in Pittsburgh. That's our footprint. Let's expand nationally and invite more people into this community, which is really what our mission is, which is to create communities of listening around veterans and their stories to connect, educate, heal, and inspire. We want to make sure that we are gathering these stories before they are forgotten. And along with Ellie DiPastino, our media producer, we host veteran storytelling events every week on Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And it isn't just veterans getting together in a room and chatting. We talk about military topics. Recently, we talked about Guadalcanal. We invite on special guests, authors and historians and experts on different parts of military history. It's very educational. We've talked recently about the evacuations happening out of Afghanistan at the end of August. So we're topical, we're historic, but we're welcoming. And along with myself, Todd, Ellie, myself, we are not veterans. So we encourage non-veterans to join the group and to come on the program and take part in these storytelling events.
Well, excellent. And that's something that we want to thank you for taking on that endeavor for you and your team, because there's, running a radio show, and our team, Laura, Shelley, Dali, Jamie, and some others we know what it takes to run just one segment of an organization. Mm-hmm. So how does the Breakfast Club work? Is it a membership base? How do people participate or join your group?
It's free, and every Monday night is free. Sometimes we have a register, and you would register for a special event. But VBC is free and open to all, and we very much appreciate all of the engagement that we have been getting along with this national expansion. We've partnered with a lot of organizations, including the National Veterans Art Museum in Chicago, Vetlanta down in Atlanta. We've had a lot of interest sort of come our way as we've stepped out of the Western PA footprint. It works like any nonprofit organization does. We sort of run off our donations and sponsorships, and we are keeping the lights on and keeping the doors open, as it were. And then we've been able to move back into some level of an in-person hybrid model as well. We have an in-person event we have scheduled for tomorrow, and we're doing about 2 per month now. But we want to keep the online presence going because we've been able to build up this very extensive community through the Zoom programs that we have been offering.
Yes, I mean, the pandemic did force us to do a shift on the way we did business, and we continue to do that. And so, how many people that usually attend your groups, your meetings?
Yeah, it's you kind of see it ebb and flow as the season goes,
Right,
but
right.
we're very excited. We usually have about, I'd say, 60 to 90, if not over 100, because we'd like to simulcast. Not only do we sort of, our main platform is on Zoom, but we simulcast to Facebook and to YouTube. So we look at between 80 and 100, looking at per Monday night. And then we have special programs that we have Tuesday nights, Greatest Generation, where we focus specifically on World War II stories and World War II veterans. We have another program called Veteran Voices with Pete Mecca, and he's a gentleman that came to us from down south, down in Atlanta, and he hosts another program on Thursday nights. Those happen probably every other week.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys are really busy.
Quite. Along with that, I host the podcast called The Scuttlebutt. Subheading is called Understanding Military Culture. And it's very much from sort of my perspective as a civilian. There's a lot of things about military culture that I don't understand. So I'll invite on military veterans, active duty, servicemen and women, to talk to me about different military topics. Recently, we had on a Gold Star spouse, Sarah Wilkinson, who started the Chad 1000X in honor of her husband, Chad Wilkinson, who was a Navy SEAL. And talking about her story and how she found a way to come out of trauma and build something with the love that she had for her husband, Chad. It's a very, very emotional story. And if you're interested in any of our events, you can always check us out on the website, veteransbreakfastclub.org. You can see all of our upcoming online events, what we have coming up in person. You can see our podcast. We have a bookstore on there. And something I'm really excited about is that we've expanded what we had as sort of a print, bulletin. We've turned that into a VBC magazine. Anybody can sign up for this and receive it. We mail these out 4 times per year. It's about 35 pages filled with veteran stories, history, facts, all good stuff. So if you'd like it, definitely check us out on the website.
Excellent. Well, and so you're moving from in person to online to not having your own magazine. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, we definitely like to stay as busy as possible, but what we found is that there's a desire for these stories, and that you can see from our tags, stories unite us, and every veteran has a story. We are never at a lack for stories, and it seems that every veteran we run into, from any branch, any era, any level of service or job, has a story of their service, what it meant to them, why they were enlisted, or why what happened to them when they were drafted. And so the nice thing is that in Western PA we have probably one of the top 5, if not top 3, expansive veteran communities here. So there's a lot of stories that we still have to mine, even in just Western PA.
Right. No, that's pretty amazing. And we, as the National Veterans Chamber, want to really thank you for bringing that to light and sharing those experiences with the network. Now, can you share with us one of the stories that really capture your interest?
Oh, we had a gentleman on a couple months back, and I mean, I'm pretty much inspired by almost every event that we have held, and that's what really captured me when I first heard about VBC and started attending in person back before the pandemic. And I was really blown away as a civilian of hearing stories from the Tet Offensive, hearing stories from World War II veterans who are over 100 years old. One story that really stands out to me was from an Afghan war veteran. He was dealing with a lot post service, and he had a service animal that he brought on the program. We had a camera specifically for his service animal, and he came on and told the story of how this animal saved his life. That he was at the end of his rope, and it wasn't until he met this dog that he fell in love with. This dog knows him. It helped him. It comes to him when he doesn't even know that he's feeling stressed, but the dog senses it and comes over to him and soothes him. That was really incredible. There are other, more heavy stories. I mentioned Sarah Wilkinson, just her talking about what it was like being in a military family and marrying a gentleman whose whole life was built towards service. That's what he wanted to do, and they would do anything for each other. And every single story I think I've heard at VBC has affected me in some way, shape, or form. And I always implore people to please come on a program, just listen to a story or two, and try to walk away not inspired. I don't think it can do it.
That's a good challenge, but you're right. I mean, it's just every veteran that we talk to, same as you have, it comes full with energy and story that really is inspiring, and it makes us think what freedom, liberty, and equality and justice, as all veterans, we promote and defend, and what really means, And so, but I think one of the parts that I really also, I'm very grateful for you and your team, is for taking the initiative and the leadership as a non-veteran group to promote such a strong program and bring so much presence to the veteran community. So that's admirable. So we want to also thank you and your team for doing that. And anything that we can collaborate with, share with you, make our program available, happy to do that as well.
Of course. And I see a question came in about how I got involved in the mission, but I agree with you. I think once we sort of really hit this national expansion after the pandemic, the name of the game has been collaboration, and all these collaborations that we have found, these people that the organizations that want to connect with us. We want to get our name out there because we want to bring as many veterans into our network as we can. We want to collaborate with you and have our veteran network here in Western PA know and learn more about the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. I think that's part of the reason I found this mission to be something that I wanted to put all my energy behind. I actually got my start in acting. I got my acting degree back in 2004. And then I started working for a nonprofit, a theater. Did that for 10 years and really did just mission work, nonprofit work. And as the pandemic hit and there was an opportunity to transition in my life, this mission and VBC really stood out to me. I was attending the in-person events, listening to these stories, and it sort of prompted me to approach Todd, the executive director, and ask him if there were any spots open, if they were looking for someone. It was such a different world than the theater, but still storytelling, which was sort of the heart of what I believe in. I believe in that level of storytelling. Just the veterans telling stories in that space was so true and so raw and so immediate and real. And I think that's what really captured me about VBC. And it's educational. You're going to walk away from any one of our programs and learn something that you may not have learned or knew before. And that's something I think we really hang our hat on.
Right. And that being said, what are the plans for your organization in the next 12 months or for 2022? Are there any plans set up?
Yeah, we as we sort of experiment with this hybrid model, we'll continue with our sort of semi in-person events. Like I said, two per month by the end of the year. Winter gets kind of nasty here in Western PA, so we'll take a break from the in-persons for a couple
Just
months.
bring him to California, right? Which
Oh no, I just
always
want you to
warm.
bring your weather here. If that'd be much better.
Right.
But we'll take a little bit of a break with the in-person events during those cold months. But we're going to kick up our online programming. We'll probably reestablish our coffee hour, which will happen Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And again, it's the same Zoom link, so you can just pop right on our veteransbreakfastclub.org website, click join on Zoom. You'll come right in. We're very welcoming. We like to see new faces, and we always say hi. And if you've served, we'll ask you a bit about that. And something I've really loved about our network and the people that join us online is that it is just one of the most welcoming atmospheres. These veterans want to know you. They want to welcome you in. It's like a brotherhood and sisterhood. It's really a wonderful community.
Yes. And I see another question pop up. You want to take on that?
Sure. Challenges facing veterans in I'd say overall in the community as a whole. You almost throw a dart and you hit a challenge. The veterans obviously they have the same sort of issues that we all face. There's a couple extra ones specifically if you think about post 9/11 vets. The pandemic was particularly hard on them. It was isolating. And what we don't want is veterans to be isolated. We want them to feel a part of a community. And I think that's part of the reason why we're so welcoming here at VBC. That might be one of the biggest challenges that they are facing. If they are facing any other health concerns, things like that, we'd like to be a resource as well. So veterans can contact us and say, hey, I have a question about this insurance or health reason. We have a lot of other organizations in our network that we can easily direct you to. So we like to be helpful in that way. But certainly I think community is probably one of the biggest factors. We want to make sure that veterans have a place where they feel like they belong, but also this place is also built for non-veterans to come in and learn from them.
Yeah, I really like that. And kind of being inclusive, that's something we also have in common. And I love that. Because we have a community of veterans, but we also have a community of non-veterans, and it's just as strong. So I love that. We have one last question for you. Would you like to answer that one? Sure.
Community members can get involved by either emailing myself, Shaun, SHAUN, at veteransbreakfastclub.org, Todd, TODD, at veteransbreakfastclub.org, or Ellie, ELLIE, at veteransbreakfastclub.org. It's as easy as clicking on the Zoom, join on Zoom to be a part of our programs. If you have, if you're interested in pitching us any sort of subject matter, if there's something historic that you'd like to talk about, if you're a historian that you want a platform to be able to come on and tell some of the stories that may not have been heard, we're kind of open to any and all. We really love suggestions from the audience, from the community, and it's the easiest way to get involved is to just reach out to us.
Okay. And that question came up basically for us, not really for you. So we'll answer that question later directly to Debbie. So anyway, so we just wanted to do a recap. We're talking to Shaun from the Veterans Breakfast Club, a great organization who is bringing stories, which we love stories, bring stories of veterans to the community. And anything that you would like to add before we close, Shaun?
That I hope to see you on Zoom. And if I don't see you on Zoom, or if you're coming through Pittsburgh, we hope to see you at an in-person event. Definitely reach out to us. We'd love to see you. Well,
we'd love to be there, but winter is coming up, so probably we'll be in the spring. But
I don't blame you.
We'd love to welcome you here, Shaun. But anyway, just want to really, really thank Todd and his daughter for bringing this together, for putting this together. And we'll talk offline about how we can support and help bring even more activity to your programming, because that's something that I think we are in the same wheel. So there's, like they said, there's no point of reinventing the wheel. So it's just joining that. So we'll talk offline about that. But just wanted to thank our listeners. Want to thank Laura for doing the magical work behind the scenes. Say hi to Jimmy. He's kind of sick today. He's our producer. So Laura steps up and takes care of that. Also want to thank Shelly. Shelly is also our host, and Dali is also our host, who's just behind the scenes working on this. So we want to thank everyone who puts on the show for us, for the National Veterans Chamber, and to thank you and your team and your community for what you guys are doing. And we'd love to collaborate and bring our members to your organization so they can hear what you guys are doing and how you are sharing the stories of our fellow brothers and sisters, which is very, very important to us. So that being said, one last closing statement, Shaun.
I just really appreciate the time today, and looking forward to more collaborations with y'all.
Excellent. So please stay back. We'll say hello behind the scenes. In the meantime, Laura will kind of close the show for us. And